What's going on, you guys? It's Will here, not Scott. We're going to talk to you today about basically basic bike fittings, the standard bicycle fitting. Of course, there's a lot of upgrades that you can do to it, but we want to go ahead and discuss what you can do already with what comes stock on your electric bike. The first thing you want to do is make sure, obviously, that it's comfortable when you're out just on a nice ride, on pedal ride. So typically what you're going to want to have is a solid 160-degree extension on your legs when your pedal is all the way in the downward position. This will make it to where you don't lock out your knees naturally, and this will make it to as well to where you won't be sore later on down the road when you are riding for longer distances. So what you're going to want to look for is, while you're riding, your seat height is the one thing you want to start out with. The seat post itself, you can adjust the height of it, specifically at the collar of the seat post. Some of you will already have a quick release where you'll just need to get a little bit of finger grease in there and open that thing up, and then adjust the seat height. Typically you'll want to make sure that it's right about hip length to start out with, and obviously you'll have to get back on this bike to be able to check your degree of angle of your leg. If you don't have a seat post quick release collar, you will need an Allen key in order to open that up to adjust that, whether you're going up or down. If you have a dropper seat post, what you want to do as well is make sure that the dropper is fully engaged and the seat post is already at its highest point, and then tighten it down and then just hop on it. Make sure that when you go for a quick ride that you have about 160-degree extension with the leg all the way at its lowest point, or the foot at the lowest point possible. You know, if that's comfortable for you, or if you feel like you're too far extended, hop off the bike and try again. Again, you will want to adjust this later on down the road if you feel like you're still not getting the full extension that you really are trying to get. So that's the first thing you would start out with. The next thing you would go to would be obviously the reach. First of all, the saddle itself, you have the ability to change two things. One being the angle of it, but most people are going to just want to have it completely flat. While you're adjusting the angle of your seat, you can also adjust the positioning of your seat to be either closer or further away from your handlebars. Obviously, you have those limits there that you'll see on the rail of the bottom of your seat. So just make sure that you're within that standard measurement there. Now, of course, on the reach, you'll definitely want to make sure that your arms are not too bent, but not too straight either. So you want to find that nice, comfortable in-between spot. And that's going to be really important. Basically, you want to make sure that you are in a comfortable position when you're riding. Typically, a lot of people enjoy having a more erect position while riding, especially if you're more of a leisure rider. And not so much a commuter, I guess. So that's something that's really important for a lot of people. So if that's the case, you might need to bring that seat a little bit further forward towards the handlebars to get a little bit closer, or even further away if you feel like you're really crammed in there. Everything on your handlebar setup, we call it the cockpit, is basically fully adjustable. The next thing would be to make sure that you are checking the positioning and the angles, whether you want the tilt to be adjusted on the handlebars, whether you want everything to go inboard or outboard. All the levers can adjust individually as well. So this is an area that you can really dial in to make it specific to you. So it's really important first that you want to make sure that the levers of your brakes are in the same positioning as your hand. You don't want any of this, and you don't want any of this, right? So basically you want your arm to be straight and have the ability to brake without having to strain your wrists, because the brakes are obviously the most important component of any bicycle, right? So that would be where you want to start out with. And make sure that not only is the reach of your brake levers even with your arm and wrist, but also within reach, right? So all of those levers can either come in or out just by adjusting the set screw, which is usually found on the inside area. After that, you're going to want to go and check your gears, your gear levers, whether it's on the left or right or both, if you have a dual chain ring in the front. And just make sure that it's within your thumb reach first, and that it's not too far underneath or too far up. So that's really important as well. Try to get a good idea of how you're going to be out there riding to where you don't have to look at the handlebars to find out where those levers are at. It should be natural. From there, you can definitely, obviously, the button pad on your left-hand side, which is usually on the left side, make sure as well that that is within reach of your thumb. That obviously is one of the most important aspects of an electric bike, right? The button pad. So you want to make sure that it is within reach of your thumb, that you obviously don't have to look down and look where the plus or the minus button is. It just comes naturally. So that would be the next area. If you have a dropper seat post, the lever could be up on top, it could be on the bottom, it could be left, it could be right. So find out for you what's the most comfortable. And typically with dropper seat posts, you can put them anywhere you like, but in some cases you can't. So at that point, just make sure that it is as well within thumb's reach, whether it's left or right side. Just kind of go over to make sure all of those are within reach of typically your thumb or your trigger finger, and that everything is in unison and also comfortable to you, because everybody's bodies and hands are different. So that's really important as well. So to wrap it up, everybody's different. Everybody wants to be comfortable though. So it's really important to make sure that not only do you adjust it the first time around, but also go back and readjust. If you feel like you're getting a little sore in certain areas, everything is customizable in that sense, no matter which kind of bike you end up getting. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel. Scott would really appreciate it. And don't forget to be safe out there and ride on.